Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing good. So today we are going to see an interesting topic, that is rate limiting, how your system protects themselves from like abuse or spikes. So let's say your system is fast, your system is scalable, but one user can still take it down. So that's why real system uses rate limiting. So think of a metro. Many people wants to enter in the metro to reach their destination. Why do you think that door only open for a limited period of time? So if you know the answer of this, you already know the concept of rate limiting. So think, at a rush hour, thousands of people want to enter at once, but the door only opens for a few seconds. So it's not like meant to stop people from traveling. It's meant to prevent a stampede on a platform or chaos on a platform. So in software language, we call this rate limiting. So this is the normal setup. Let's say you will be having website, load balancer, app servers, then cache and database. So here one user also can take your system down. So most people think failures come from too many users, but many whichever outages are caused by only, let's say, one buggy client, or it will be one retry loop. It can be a viral post or a bot attack. This can also crash your system. If your server is flooded, it doesn't just get slow, it slowly dies only. So when the server dies, what will happen? Nobody able to get in. So server crash can happen with one retry loop, multiple loops it's trying, like happening, one buggy client it's there, or it can be one malicious user. It's not always traffic, but it's more like uncontrolled traffic that causes system failure. So rate limiting is not about blocking users to get into your system. It's about protecting your system. It basically controls how fast requests are allowed to enter into your system, so your system can breathe. Let's say you have a login API, user forgets their password. So the client retries like aggressively. It's like hitting request, it's hitting like 100 requests per second. So your database and your server, let's say auth service you have, that will be getting hampered. So let's say whenever it's requesting, your load balancer is, your server load is going high, and that database also same request it's processing again and again. So here now let's say everyone will be affected. So now your database and auth service is getting hampered, so now everyone is affected. What is happening, let's say, without rate limiting? CPU spikes, database connection exhaust, cache melts, healthy users so like getting slow responses. So the system fails even though infrastructure wise it's all fine. So rate limiting can live in many places, like at the load balancer level, at the server level, and even sometimes per user also, per IP, per token, we will be applying rate limiting depending on the requirement. So let's look at the flow. A request leaves the client. It hits the load balancer first. So this is our parameter. Instead of letting go the request go straight to the server, the load balancer like pauses. It needs to check the logbook, let's say. So for that, they will be using Redis. So let's say a user has sent more than 1,000 requests this minute, and now they are at 1001. So the load balancer drop the request immediately. Your DB and your app server never sees that request, so they will be on the whichever CPU that will be normal, like that. and, and to the user who's sending more requests, we will be sending that 429 too many request error. So it's similar kind of that, in a metro line you see yellow line, that you stand behind yellow line, so that's the way of preventing it. So here using yellow line, we'll say that once gate opens you get inside that, and once gate close you stay behind yellow line. So we have four strategies for rate limiting that we can implement. So one is fixed window. So here I'll want to keep this simple. Let's say that fixed window here. algorithm counts the number of requests within the like fixed time window, let's say 1 minute or like that. So request exceeding that threshold or within that window are rejected or delayed until the window reset. So let's say in a minute you are saying that 5 requests only you can access, then sixth request will be dropped or delayed. In next window that will be taken. So here next we have sliding window. So here sliding window means that window will be sliding in a second. So here let's say 6 requests per second we are having. That window after 1 second it will be sliding, and we will be checking that in 6 seconds like 6 requests are being processed or not. If there is a space, then we will take up the request. If there is no space, then that will be dropped. So next strategy that we have, that is token one. So in token, every request requires a token, and if the requester does not have any token, then that request is turned down. So this process flows for different intensities, so that request rate can be controlled within a given interval of time. So here this has a counter. Let's say firstly, starting the token is initiated to 0. So each time a token is added, counter is incremented by 1, and each time a unit of data is sent, counter is decremented by 1. So when the counter is 0, host cannot send data. So the next we have leaky bucket. So here approach is simple, that bucket size is constant and has a leak in it. So that allow is to shrink in size progressively. Let's say new incoming requests are adding into the bucket, and if the bucket is full, the requests are rejected. So here the leaky bucket, that fixed flow will be going out. So that is like fixed rate of request processed in any like time period. So here data arrive at the bucket at any period of time. Each unit of data that arrives is held in the bucket until it can be processed. Data is like removed from the bucket at a constant rate. So if the bucket fills up, overflow, data excess is discarded or deleted. So using these strategies, you may be able to block spikes. You might need storage like Redis. So rate limiting is not just security, it's basically about your capacity management. It decides who get access when resources are limited. So scalable system, traffic you need to manage, and rate limiting basically it's kind of survival. So now let's move to our interview question part. So here, let's say 1 minute flash sale you will be having with the limited edition sneaker. So your server only like uh, handle 500 requests per second, and user like can expect 50,000 users to refresh their browser and click buy at the same millisecond. So you want to ensure that your system don't crash. So what rate limiting strategy you will be applying to your system? Think about this for a second, then I'll show you the answer. So answer is leaky bucket. Reason being that if let's say 50,000 people hit the server, the fixed window will allow the first 500 requests in the first millisecond. The others will be lost, right? And why not token bucket? Token bucket allow for burst. If bucket size is 500, it will let all 500 requests through at once. While this is better than nothing, but it still puts like maximum stress on your downstream services. Then why leaky bucket is best here? Because it forces a constant output rate. Even if 50,000 requests arrives at once, the leak ensure they are processed like exactly 500 rps. That will be like spread out over time. So it like turns out a storm of like request into a steady stream. So which is exactly like fragile database needs. So that's all in this video. I have shown you how rate limiting can protect your system. I hope you like this video. If you have any doubt, then you can comment down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.